So, Avi and Kevin, right, their parents, they have heard about PentaCon, they love what we're doing, they're super excited, they wish they could be here. Unfortunately they can't, but we have a little something special from them that we wanted to share with you all.
Hey guys, I'm Candace, I'm Kevin's little sister, and I hear you guys are all at PentaCon. Sadly, I'm not there, can't be there this year, but I keep hearing amazing things about it, so I hope all of you have an amazing time because you all deserve it. Personally, I just wanted to say thank you to all the Pentaholics out there, whether you're at PentaCon or whether you have a friend that you know the Pentaholic can't be there, just like me. I just wanted to share my gratitude to Pentaholics around the world in general, just because without you guys, Pentatonix wouldn't be what it is, and it's really grown into an amazing family, and I'm grateful to be part of it by blood, obviously, but outside of that, just through the music that we all shared together, I think it's amazing. And so on behalf of not just my family, but all the Penta families, you guys are true blessings in our lives, and we are very grateful to you for being on this, 5-year journey with us. I hope to share many more, and hopefully in the future, my family and I, and hopefully all the Penta families will be at PentaCon at the same time. So, with that being said, everyone, I want to see PentaCon blowing up the internet. I want to see you guys on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Show me your post. You can find me on any of those platforms at Candy4JC or CANDIE4JC. And I would love to see your experience and hear about your experiences there and see videos and pictures and silly things. So hope to hear from you guys soon. And yeah, have fun at PentaCon, guys. Bye.
Hi. How are you? It is so wonderful to say hi to all of you. We're so thankful to you. I cannot believe that you guys are doing this. This is wonderful. We wish we could have been there to say hi to all of you and to meet each and every one of you. However, we can't make it. So we have to say hi to you by video. Thank you so much for organizing this. It's because of you that our children are doing so well. It's because of you that they're fulfilling their dreams. It's because of you that they're enjoying this great success, and we are just so thankful to you. We love you. You are the best fans ever. Pentaholics are the best. We love you. Thank you. And we wish we could have been there again. Just have fun, enjoy yourselves, and all the best.
Okay, folks, thank you so much. You've heard what my wife said. We absolutely appreciate it. We don't take you guys for granted. You guys have been great supporters of our children, and so for that, we are very grateful. Thank you for your continued support, and we love you. We truly wish we could have been there. Hopefully in your future events, we will try our best to be there. Okay, thank you very much, and God bless.
Hi, I'm Mike Kaplan.
And I'm Shelly Kaplan. And we're Avi Kaplan's parents.
Yay! And we're at his favorite place, the hamburger stand in Springville, California.
And we have enjoyed coming here with all the kids year after year, and still we come with Avi here. And we want to thank you so much for all your support.
Yes.
Wish we were there, wanted to be there, to give you all hugs and just tell you how much we appreciate you. And God bless you. We appreciate every one of you. And hello to all the PentaParents that get to be there. And but really, if you could know how much the Kaplan family appreciates all of you.
Thank you.
Can you turn the lights on, please? Is that it?
Testing. There we go. Okay, so Shelly Kaplan DM'd me this morning, and I don't know if you could tell, but she was a little nervous to do a video. So she wrote something that she wanted me to read to you guys, and I'll try not to cry. It's very sweet. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay. My heart is with you in this exciting time of PentaCon. The stories I could write of how much the fans helped me / us in the beginning and letting us know where our kids were after they won the sing-off. They were just swept off the stage and away into the limelight, and it's been a wild journey since. I'm kind of a technophobe anyways, so to get me on Facebook was big, and then Twitter, wow. But people have been so supportive and kind. I know many wanted to know me just because I'm Avi and Esther's mom, but there were people that became true friends, even though I have yet to meet them. Whew, okay, sorry y'all. When the transformation went from PTX fans to Pentaholics and we became PentaParents, it was a whole new level in my life. I've never had a celebrity idol. I have always felt that those who are held up as idols are no better than any of us that walk this same earth. They might have more zeros on their paycheck and be more recognizable, but we are all special and precious in God's eyes. We are just chosen for a different purpose in life. How we treat one another along the way is incredibly important. It has brought me such joy to see our kids be an example for others and lift people's hearts up with their gifts of music wherever they go. Thank you for the support you have all given our kids, and your love and adoration is none like I've ever seen or felt from so many people around our nation and this wonderful world. It has been an indescribable journey because of all of you. I enjoy meeting people wherever we go, and I sure wish we could be there. But enjoy your time with one another. You will have friends for life because of the music our children lovingly bring to you. Bless you all, and a special hug to the other PentaParents who were able to be there. I love them so much, and I can't wait to meet them too. Shelly Kaplan. Okay, all right. It's time, PentaParents. First up, we have Angelica Maldonado. Okay, Mike Grassi. And we have Miss Connie Hoying and Rick Hoying.
Here, this one's for you. You're the moderator.
Yeah.
Hey, lunch. We're trying to switch. No.
What?
So first of all, I just want to say, can everybody please give them a big round of applause?
Thank you.
So what we're going to do for today, so I have some questions from the audience as well, and so I'll call people's names, they can ask the questions, but maybe to kick things off, do you guys want to just briefly tell a little about yourselves, your family, and just kind of let everybody know, who you are? We know, but, a little more.
Are you going to start?
Rick and Connie Hoying. We got two of our daughters here, Scott's sisters and their families, so make sure you meet them while we're here. Our daughter Lauren, our daughter Lindsay. We've lived here in Texas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area since 1986. Lauren and Lindsay were both born in Colorado, and before we moved down here, Scott was born in Texas. And what else? I guess that's it, unless you
Covered our family part of it.
Hi, my name is Angelica Maldonado. I'm Kirsty's mom. I'm a single parent. I don't have we were actually, Kirstin was born in Fort Worth, and I moved as soon as she was born actually to Arlington, and we've been there ever since. And I have a border collie named Tokyo, and that's about it.
Hello, I'm Mike, and Mike Rossi. Hello. And both my kids were born in Texas also, but we're native. My wife and I are both native New Yorkers, not New York City, upstate. So, but we'll claim New York City too. We've lived here for close to 30 years now, so I guess we're official Texans now, so that's about it.
So, is there Christine T? Christine, all right. Got a question from Christine.
Have any of you been on tour with your children, and for how long were you on the tour with them, if you did? Go on.
Well, what we do is Scott sends us the list, probably a little before y'all see it, and and then I double check it when the official one comes out. But we just go through, and you know how you have a list of cities on your bucket list? I mean, we just go through, and like this last tour in Europe, Rome and Venice was on our bucket list, and Milan. But so we just go through and mark off. And then we go, of course, to anything close to us: Austin, Houston, Dallas, and but that's how we pick them. We don't like go on tour for a month with them. I would like to, and have considered it many times, but we do have to work and do normal life too. So, but that's anything to add.
Only one thing. One of our plans when we retire, which is getting fairly close, is to buy an RV and then be groupies. And follow them around city to city to city and meet all you Pentaholics over and over again.
And hopefully that will be sooner than later.
We've not followed them on tour. We, because of both our work, it's hard to get time off and go on tour. But I've mentioned going with Mitch a few times, just myself or whatever. He's not real big on me. I think it has something to do with cramping his style. So, but we tried to do the close-in ones. We did Birmingham and Tulsa, and I think one other. I can't remember where that was this year, but. That's about it.
I actually have gone, I've spent probably a week I spent in Japan, and all the kids are really nice because they know I'm a single mom, and if I go out there, I'd be alone in a country and not know the language, so they actually let me hang out with them. So, so I went to Tokyo because that was like Kirsty's dream country that she really, really loves, and I spent a week there, and it just was really interesting just seeing how scheduled everything is. Like you have to be here at a certain time, you have to have your bags here at a certain time. Like I've always asked Kirsty to send me pictures and she never did, and I realized then it's because they really don't have a lot of time to go out and go look at things, and it's just really structured, everything they do. And when they go to a venue, they spend the entire day there. Like they're there from, probably 2 o'clock on till midnight. So that was interesting to me. And then this last time I went to Spain, and I stayed, when I first got to Barcelona, we were in a hotel room the first night. And then after that, I spent the rest of the time on the tour bus. And yes. Because Mitch loves me. But anyway, it was just I could not sleep on the tour bus. It was just like this the whole time. I don't see how they do it. They're just
Angelica,
Yeah, bouncing around.
tell them the story about you flying to Japan and you don't like to fly and all of that.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy that story.
I am like terrified to fly, so I actually have to have Xanax whenever I get on a flight. Yay! That's Kirsty's second mom, Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina. But yeah, so I have to have Xanax, and so Kirsty had told me, "Oh, Mom, it's not going to be bad." I think it was like a 15-hour flight from Dallas, and she was like, because I went straight, and she was like, "It won't be bad. You're going to get to catch up on all these movies." And so I thought, okay, that'll be fun. And so I got on the plane, and my seat was the only one that the television didn't work. And I didn't bring any books or anything because she told me, "Oh, you're going to get to catch up on all these movies." So I had to sit there for 15 hours with nothing. It was the most miserable. I thought I was going to go suicidal. I was like, it was awful. But anyway, yeah. So that was my story.
So Sarah Boss.
So what are your reactions to the whole idea of like PentaCon, and your reactions like when you walked in and saw how your kids are influenced by so many people to the degree they're all coming together at this one place to meet each other?
Well, I know my mind was blown when we walked in that door and saw all of you. It was just incredible, and I, thank you, Tara and Hassan, for doing all this, and the whole committee. Yeah. Because we really didn't know what to expect. We've been asked a few questions here and there, but we didn't know numbers. We didn't know really anything about it. So we were quite amazed. So, and thank you, all of you too.
I'm a fairly logical person, and I try to bring logic to everything. I'm not as emotional as some of my family is. So to answer your question, I'm trying to think, why did this happen and how did this happen? This is just like something that logic doesn't quite register with me very, very well. But I think I've got it figured out a little bit. It's because of all of the friendships that Pentatonix has brought together via social media, and there's one step deeper in a friendship relationship you can get to if you meet face to face. So this is all brought together by you guys, doing it with each other and the committee and Hassan and everybody and Tara, and it's just an amazing thing. I'm just blown away by it, and we're very, very proud of our kids. I'm very proud of Scott and the group and the music that they put out that is able to bring all of you together, and I love each and every one of you.
One of the things that when Mitch started doing this, and I've told the story before about how I almost didn't let him do the sing-off because I'd never heard of it and I didn't know what that was, and he caught me on a really bad day, and I was. And finally I had the brains to ask him, "Who's asking you to do this?" And he said, Scott and Kirsty. And I was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me that first?" So, but it terrifies me that Mitch would not have had the opportunity to do this. And I am an emotional person, as you can tell. And Mitch is an emotional person, and I don't mean to sound conceited, but he's an incredible man, and thank you. But I'm a little biased. But he has that. He's always had a positive influence on people and held people to a high standard, and wanted to do that same thing with his music. And to just have my son have an influence like this with people in such a positive way, you can't ask for better than that from a parent, from a parent standpoint. And it just, every day I shake my head and I can't believe this is happening. I mean, because when you go into the music business, I mean, it's such, these guys know because Scott's been in it forever. It's a shot. You don't know, and there's so many people out there that are doing it. But I really think that the reason Pentatonix has had the success that they've had is because they are a genuine positive influence on people, and they really believe that in their hearts. What you see is what you get. It's not a put on. It's not public relations. That's the 5 of them, and that's how they are. And it kind of surprises me that something like this happens, but it kind of doesn't, because when you get good people together for a reason like that, good things happen, and I just think this is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So thank you. Appreciate it.
I was going to say, I know not everyone believes in God, but I truly believe that God brought all of them together. And if one of them wasn't a part of it, it wouldn't have been what it is. And I just think they're just all really, really good people. And I would really love to meet all of you and find out where you're from. But anyway, that's
Next question is from Zania.
Hi. I want to know, what was Scott, Mitch, and Kirsty like as a child?
Well, his sisters would probably say he was a spoiled brat. But he wasn't. He was an angel. Maybe you guys should answer that. But no, Scott was a great kid, I can tell you. He was everything, all 3 of my children, our children. He had a little something to do with it. But they just all, he was such a hard worker. And, you know, someone asked me, how did you get Scott to practice piano? Well, he just wanted to. You know, if he would beg, you know, I want to audition for this, I want to sing here, I want to do that. You just never had to force him, you know. He was like, find more places for me to sing. And he was a great student, straight A student, and just very lovable child, and still is. So.
At an early age, we put Scott in everything. He was in soccer and in basketball and in swimming and in just about everything, you know. So, I mean, he got a good rounded education and such. But with he and Lindsay and Lauren, I used to feel sorry for them growing up because they had, as their mother, she was tough on them. I mean, every time they would come home from school, she would like, nothing. You do nothing until you tell me about your whole day. What'd you do first period? What'd the teacher say? What do you have for homework? What do you have this? What I'll play? Let's get to homework. Yada yada yada. All the way through every single day. And but now I look back and say, you know what? That's not a bad way to raise kids, because all 3 of mine turned out awesome, and I'm really really proud of them, including Scott.
Thank you for adding that last part.
This is kind of tough. What was he like as a kid? Stubborn. If Mitch didn't want to do it, he wasn't going to do it. I mean, not in a bad way, but he was. It's hard to put that into words. He was a very good kid. You know, he didn't give us, fortunately for us, thank God, because you know how they say God only gives you what you can handle. Both of our kids, you know, were very easy to raise. We didn't, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of, you know, needing to really clamp down on them or anything, and we could tell at a very early age Mitch loved music, you know, from like the time he was 3 years old, and the first time we knew he had any kind of talent, we were at he was in a play called America or something like that at a local theater here in Arlington, and it was at the end of the play, he had to sing a solo, America. He sang America, you know, the America the Beautiful or whatever, and not whatever, America the Beautiful. Really, we have members of the military here today. I don't be careful. No, but brought his mom and I to tears. I mean, we didn't know he could sing like that. I mean, and we were literally sitting in the audience crying our eyes out. And again, he was kind of like Scott too. He knew what he wanted to do from a very early age. And there wasn't much discussion about, well, I want to not do this, I want to do that. He knew early on that he wanted to be a singer and a performer. And he just did what he loves. And I always told my children, I don't care what you do, as long as it's legal, and as long as you can live within your means doing it. And I said, that's the key. I said, I don't care if you clean streets or you're president of the United States. If you can, live with yourself, live within your means, and do what you love, that means you're a success. And I always preach that to my kids. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to be happy with yourself. When you wake up in the morning and go to work, you need to love what you do, because most people aren't that way. So that's about it.
Kirsty was really, really sweet. She loved to read. It drove me crazy. That's how much she loved to read. She would carry huge books around, and we'd be going out to dinner with friends or just anything. She always had the book with her, and she was always reading. She would just sit at the table and read if we were at a restaurant, and it drove me crazy. She also loved to sing. She came to me when she was 3, and she would say, "Oh, Mommy, I want to sing," or "I want to be like the kids on television, the commercials or whatever." And I think I was just sort of "Sure, yeah, honey, sure, yeah." And then I guess when she turned 5 is when I actually started taking her seriously and started putting her in lessons and things. But she danced for 2 years. But then when she really fell in love with singing and with acting, she just totally did that and stopped doing everything else. I think she played softball for 2 years and volleyball for a year, but she really loved acting and singing, and so she just did that nonstop. She would do every single theater show at Theater Arlington, all the kids shows, all the adult shows that she could get into, and so that was really about it. That was our life, just theater.
One little thing I wanted to add is that you could tell that somebody's headed for something good when they start meeting people that are really good at what they do. We got introduced through a friend of ours who his uncle or his godfather was or is a voice teacher. His name is Myron Ice, and he's in Fort Worth, and he's just phenomenal, and he was very instrumental in the voice that you hear now from Mitch. And we met the Hoyings, and then you met some other good people. We met Kirstin and her mom, and you could tell something was going on there by the people that you meet. And I think about that sometimes as oh my God, if I hadn't have said yes to let him do that, if we hadn't have met these good folks, things would have been so different. Life would have been so bland. But you can tell that as the people you meet, you tend to meet the people that you need to have in your life if you're doing things the right way. And it just kind of seemed like things were fitting into place, and that's always something that's just fascinated me.
Next question is from Scott.
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Before I ask my question, I watched the Oprah Winfrey Show for 15 years, and I became a very emotional person through those shows. So I'm probably going to cry during this, just to let you know. Okay.
I probably will too.
This is not a question. This is a thank you from Mike Grassi. The way in which you have supported your son with unconditional love has meant the world to me and to many people across the entire world. Without knowing it, you have saved people's lives by your support for your son and saying it is okay to be who you are. And from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you from me and from the entire LGBT community, and the warmest embrace from Canada to you. So thank you so much.
turned up a little bit.
Next question is from Felicia.
Yeah, I'm scared now.
I'm not very good at public speaking. Sorry.
Got this.
First, I want to say thank you so much for raising such amazing kids. They've helped me through hard times myself. And I wasn't. Anyways, how has your lives changed since they have become famous?
Oh, that's easy.
Well,
Give them a lot more fun. We see the world. We did some traveling before all of this, but now we travel a lot. And plus just, watching Scott and all the kids perform is just so, fills us with joy and pride, and it's incredible. But yeah, our lives have changed. Luckily, Scott was our youngest, so when all this, he went to college for a year and then all this sing-off happened, but we luckily didn't have any little ones at home, so we could travel. And I don't know, probably a lot of you don't know this, when the sing-off was going on, I worked till noon every Friday, and then I was out of there every Friday, and I would go to LA and and after that, we've gone everywhere. So that's the biggest thing, just seeing the world and doing it in such a fun, we always go to the concerts and then we go, okay, let's go do a gondola ride, let's go do this or that, but that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, the travel mostly, probably more than anything else. Early on, it was we would read every single comment on the YouTube videos and follow Facebook and all of that. And then it got to the point where you just couldn't read more than 1,000 or so a day. And after a while now I have trouble, even keeping up with reading a few. There's just so many from so many places and so much social media and all of that. So in a sort of a way, I've gotten a little numb to the notoriety compared to the early days of it, when every single new comment was something to talk about, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's the big change is just. Well, Scott's still the same people, we're still the same family, we're still the same people. I'm still doing the same job, and Connie's doing her same job, and our daily lives haven't changed at all. It's just, all of a sudden, it's just a little bit different having an event like this happen.
And my Facebook is a lot bigger.
I remember early on, Rick and I were talking when the sing-off started, and we would talk back and forth, and he said one day, I think that their Facebook page is going to get over 2,000 likes. And I was like, wow, really? Do you think it's going to get that high? Yeah, we'd have a pizza party every 1,000. A pizza party too. But so that, we had these little celebrations along the way. But we have had one stalker that we had. Somebody stole the phone number from somewhere. Mitch went to elementary school and called my wife and pretended to be this person who they were not. And, you're driving along, you're not thinking really, and the person said, well, what's Mitch's phone number? I want to call him so I can tell him blah, blah, blah. And, my wife wasn't thinking. She's driving, and that sounded good, didn't it? And she gave him the number, and then she realized what she'd done. And so she called me, and I said, okay, well, let's call the school, and blah, blah, blah. And went on for a while, and we had to get a detective involved, and it was kind of crazy. They wanted Kirsty's number too, but we realized at the time, okay, this isn't right. And they never found the person, I guess, but they just said, the detective said just text them and tell them to stop, and they did, fortunately for us. But really, that's the only negative thing that we've had happen along the way. This just still blows my mind that it's been 99.99% positive things. I'm basically a negative person. I will go ahead and admit that. But this is one area that's just so friendly and so fun, and it has given us so much joy and excitement. And also, it's funny, I don't know if it's just Facebook, but more so with Pentatonix, that I've connected with so many people from my past that were like, oh my God, yeah, the dumb fat kid in high school has an amazing kid. But so it's been a lot of fun. This is really something we enjoy, and we really enjoy when he comes home, to just be himself. And that's the remarkable thing too, is that you can say these, what you see is what you get, but it really is. This has not gone to their heads at all, and that if it was me, I don't know that I could do something like that. So that's all I have to say.
I guess the way it's changed my life is Kirsty, when she went away to college, we would always make sure we saw each other like every 3 weeks. So I think that's what's been hard for me, is like not seeing her and not being able to see her and not being able to afford to go see her. But the good thing is I've been getting a lot of really good hand-me-downs from her.
So the next question doesn't have a name on it, so I'll read it, but I wanted to add a little something to it as well. So for the sing-off, what was that experience like with PTX being on the sing-off, and how did you feel when they finally won?
Well, it was incredibly exciting. I mean, especially every week they'd move on, and we would just, be so, like, wow. At first we thought, oh, it'd be really cool if they make it a couple weeks, and then we're watching going, well, they were pretty good. and it kind of, and then all of a sudden you're halfway through and you're thinking, I really want them to win. And then, the finale, the 3 left, and you're just inside, you're just a wreck. And as a matter of fact, we were up at the top thing, our family, and it was a long drop down, and I was like jumping and leaping, and Rick's like, stop, you're gonna fall out the back, and he's like trying to hang on to me, and I couldn't stop jumping up and down. I was just but no, it was just so exciting, and I don't know, and it still is. I mean, every time Scott calls and says, guess what? I'm like, what? Tell me. Tell me everything. And so it's really, really a lot of fun.
So the sing-off, when it started, and we got there to the first show, and we waited in all the lines and all of that, we got into the venue where they were taping it, and they always put all the beautiful young people right behind the cameras, and they put the parents way up in the corner in the back, so that's where we were sitting. But anyway, the first group that sang, I think, was Dartmouth Airs, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I remember thinking, boy, I hope they can get through this first day, and that kind of thing. And the Dartmouth Airs sang, and I thought, they don't have a chance. If all the other ones are as good as this, they don't have a chance, because they were so good, Dartmouth Airs, and then all the other bands were that good, and it just for me it was, it was amazing that they made it as far as they did 2 weeks in, and then they kept getting better and better, and competition started dropping out, and the rest is history, I guess. But it was an exciting time. And one thing I wanted to try to correct you, maybe, the tapings were on Thursdays, weren't they? And you would work Wednesday. After work, you would catch a flight. You would get to LA. She would go to the taping, and then she would go back to the airport and catch the red eye home without even going to a hotel. And you did that like 8 weeks or something like that.
At first. Didn't last real long. And then I started getting a hotel. And then I'd still get an early flight. But no, it was Fridays, because I always left Friday at noon. Yeah. But, yeah, but I was going to say something.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
But, and keep in mind, you know, the reason we didn't think they'd go real far, they met the day before auditions. So it wasn't like this was a group that had been practicing for a year or years like some of them. One group, I can't remember what they were older group, and they'd been together 40 years. So we're thinking, okay, they just met. I mean, the three, yes, they did sing together, and that was lucky because they had those harmonies down. But Avi and Kevin, I mean, the day before, so.
We would, because of the time difference and when they were doing the taping of the show, we wouldn't find out if they advanced until like 2 o'clock in the morning that,
I said, I remember us waiting.
yes, so we were all like texting each other at that time of the morning, and I'm like, it's 2 o'clock and I don't have the text. I'm really getting upset, and I'm pacing around the house. And, you know, we're texting back and forth. Did you hear anything? No. Did you hear anything? No. It's like, oh my God, this is such torture. But in, like you're saying, in the beginning, it was like, well, you know, they had a great effort, and they sounded so good. And golly gee, you know, we were Pentatonix, and everybody's watching them. But then as we got closer to the end, oh my God, I think it was more stressful than when my daughter had her first child. I mean, you know, waiting for that text to come, you know, here we go. And then when they won, you know, we were just blown away. You know, they had confetti all over the place, and a common mentor of the kids, his name is Todd Hart. He's a theater director here in Arlington. He's since left the area, but Todd is a very, if you know him, he's a very serious person. He jokes, but it's very dry humor, and it's hard to kind of make him laugh, or not laugh, but it's hard to kind of break him down emotionally. And I'm standing there in awe, and I look over, and Todd is just bawling his eyes out. And I'm trying to talk to him, and he just keeps going. And it was just such an emotional nuclear bomb. I mean, and to watch Mitch and Kirstin right before they announced, I mean, Mitch was just beside himself with anxiety, and he just looked like he was going to drop right there. And all during the competition, while they were there, people don't realize in that 3 months period, the kids probably had 2 days off. The rest of the time, it was NBC. They wanted their money's worth, and they were going to work to make sure that it looked good on TV. And you know, some people. I was very fortunate that our kids had some dance. They knew kind of how to do that. But the poor kids and older people that didn't know how to do all that stuff, I felt sorry for them. But Mitch he had a lot of anxiety about it. Once in a while he'd call and say, I can't do this. This is just way too stressful. They're working us 15 hours a day. And I'm like, Mitch, I'm sorry, but you're under contract. You signed, you have to do this. So little by little he got more and more confident, and he was okay. But you don't realize what especially as a young person, you don't realize what a tremendous load that is. And then when they did the finale live television, I mean, oh my God, people were running around like chickens with their heads cut off. I was stressed out just watching them all be stressed out. But it was just an incredible experience, and just, you know, to leave there. We went to like the little after party afterwards for a little while, and then my wife and I did get on a plane that night because she flew home, took a shower, and went to work. How she did that, I still don't know how she did it because I went to bed. But it was just, I don't know, it was just like I said, an upheaval of emotion. And you know, they worked really, really hard, and they were one of the few groups that did their own choreography and did their own arranging. You know, they didn't have a whole lot of assistance. It was available, they just didn't use it. So it was just one of those things that had to be. It just was going to be. So anyway, your turn.
Well, I was just going to say, I remember when Kirstin came home and said that she and Scott and Mitch were putting together that video for telephone. And I was just like, oh, that's, you know, that's cute. Yeah. And then she actually played it for me, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? I was like blown away by it. Yeah. And then I guess they came, when they got on the sing-off, they came home maybe like a week before they left. And that was when I actually first met Kevin and Avi. And so they had gotten together, I guess, and were rehearsing, and they had to put some songs together for the show. And they said, oh, Mom, why don't you meet us out? There was an ice cream shop in Arlington that you could go and they'd let you sing. And so they were like, just meet us at the ice cream shop. And the first time I heard them, I was just like, oh my God, Kevin and Avi, it was totally different. I mean, it was like amazing. And right then I was really, I thought they had a really good chance. And when I heard Kevin and Avi, I was like, oh my God. So.
And one last thing I was to tell you that when they finished the sing-off, they went and did a job at the NBA playoffs or something. And then we picked them up at the airport, and I told Mitch, this was on a Friday, and I said, well, at least now you've got some time to relax before whatever it is that you're going to do. And he goes, well, we have to go to LA. And I'm like, oh, well, when are you doing that? Monday. And I'm like, this Monday? And he said, yeah. And I said, where are you going to stay? Are you coming back anytime soon? And he goes, no, you don't understand. We're moving to LA. This is a kid who'd never spent even a few nights away at a friend's house, and he's going to move to LA and live in an apartment and all that. I was amazed that, and eventually, I said, well, it was like first time going to college, and you have to do what you have to do, but it just all happened so fast, and it's probably good that it did, because it didn't give us as parents time to say, wait a minute, this is too fast. So anyway.
Yeah, I was going to add, when I came home, one quick story. The 5 came home for the first time. They were staying at our house. I was at work. He picked them up at the airport. I think both of you did. But they were all at our house working on songs for their promo. I would get in at 5:30, and I hear what I thought was a drum set. And I said, Rick, did they bring a drum set? And he goes, no, that's Kevin. I was, wow. Okay. Anyway, quick story.
Hey Hassan, you got a great big stack of questions there. Do we have enough time to get through them, or should we shorten these answers a little bit?
No, you're good. We'll go through just a few, and then I'll let you know when we're kind of getting through.
All right, perfect.
Next question. Where's at PTX Taco?
So how do your other children handle the fame of their siblings?
I think we should have them answer that.
Have to ask the question again for Lauren.
Sorry, I was.
How do your other children handle the fame of their siblings?
Oh my gosh. Well, for me personally, I'm sure Lindsay too.
This is Lauren.
I'm Lauren. I'm sorry. This is Landon. Can I say hi? That stole the show. No, I couldn't be more proud of Scott in every sort of way for who he is as a person. Wow. I couldn't be more proud. I've seen him do this and work so hard at it since he was a child, and just getting to see him fulfill that dream has just been not only, just so great, but just so inspiring too. I look up to him even though he's my little brother, and I couldn't be more proud. Alright, I'm Lindsay. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm the oldest sister. He's 8 years younger than me, so I remember him growing up very well, and he was a very awesome, sweet kid, but very talented too. I was overseas when the sing-off went on. So I was overseas for a few years. So when I came back, the fame was already there. So I was kind of like, what's going on? Like, you know, going to a movie or like at dinner and people coming up and asking for autographs or something. But hey. But anyway, it's cool though. It's fun, you know. It's fun. I'm really proud of them. I'm kind of blown away with like not only the talent of all the kids, but just, you know, how awesome their fans are and how creative and inspiring they are. So just, as Lauren said, super proud. But
where's Lisa? There's a question about Kirstin.
I was just wondering if Kirsty was a giggly little girl or was she studious all the time when she was little?
Oh, no, I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think. She went to Catholic school and she was with a group of girls and they proudly called themselves the Nerd Herd. Let's see. She loved manga. She loved anime. I've spent thousands of dollars on manga, anime. She loved books. She loved studying. She loved... School was so important to her. She strived for straight A's. She, yeah, so she's a nerd.
Sarah Elliott, where are you at?
Up front. Hi. You guys have already sort of alluded to this, but I wondered if there ever was a time that your child didn't want to practice their instrument or craft, and as a parent just wanting to know how you knew when to kind of push and encourage them, like you'd said to Mitch, like, no, hang in there, you signed a contract to do this, or when to just go, it's okay, if you're not feeling it, then...
I don't know. I mean, we never had any trouble there.
No, not with Scott. He can't not sing. He can't not sing. So I was telling somebody earlier, he would be on tour and he would be singing 4 nights a week and an hour and a half at a time, and his voice would almost be shot, and he would still do it night after night and do whatever he had to take care of his voice. And then he would get home for a day or two of rest, and he would get on the piano and start singing again. You know, and but now that he's grown up. As a child, though, we couldn't keep him off the piano. We couldn't keep him from singing. It was obvious to us that he was born to do this, and we might as well just go with the flow.
Mitch was incredibly shy, and to see Mitch on the stage now, I have to shake my head because he loves to entertain the crowd. But to show you how shy he was early on, we have in our house, we have one of those, fireplaces that you can walk around. It's, the walls, you can walk around the back. He would never sing for us, just stand there and sing. He would have to go behind the fireplace. Go ahead and sing, Mitch. And he'd sing behind the fireplace because he was embarrassed to sing for his parents. But anybody else, out in public or wherever, not a problem. But for the family, he was very, very shy, and he would always hide to sing, or his door would be closed sometimes, and we'd say, oh, that sounded great. Then he wouldn't sing anymore. Okay, whatever, Mitch. And as he got, when he comes home, I always like, Mitch, sing that song, blah, blah. Oh, Dad, you don't want to hear me do that. Okay, well, I'll go put your CD on there. But he just was so shy, and even Todd, his theater director and Mitch's mentor, he made a video one time, and there was 4 kids that did theater together that, is there a duck in here? Oh, how funny.
He says Christian's church.
Oh, how funny.
He's saying Scott.
That's so cute.
It sounds like duck.
Oh, funny.
You can't do S's yet.
I lost my train of thought, believe it or not. Anyway, he was a shy kid, and he finally overcame that. So whenever I see him on stage, and I'll ask him, "Is that your alter ego, or is that really who you are now?" And he's like, "I just love it. I just love it." And I'm like, "Okay, good." I'm just glad that he's finally been able to let himself do that and be, flamboyant on the stage. And you were mentioning, Mitch being gay, and I won't go into it, but the encounter that him and I had about when he came out to me, I'm not taking credit for that at all, of him doing that. That was all Mitch. He's a very strong guy, and he felt it was time. And you have to accept your children, no matter how or whatever you think yourself, because long after you're gone, they're still on the planet and they're living their lives. And I have to say, I really, really wish that people would drop this, because, not what you're saying, but drop the fact of he's straight or gay. I really wish they'd stop that, because if you were in the situation, had a family member or have family members or friends that are gay, you'd realize that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. It really, I'm not saying that to get your applause, but seriously, and it's. I really wish this would stop, because it's so ridiculous. And that's great.
No, I'm sorry.
And it really is. As a matter of fact, we joke about it now. We make jokes, back and forth about it. It's not a big deal, and if we could just get past that, it would be so much better. I mean, why do we have to persecute like that? I don't know, I'll get off my pedestal.
I just want to say, we're so glad he got over his shyness, too.
Next question.
Right.
Next question is from Alex Zamoras.
So, do you guys have any musical talents of your own? Like, where did this all come from, all this talent?
Well, I don't. But my mother did. She was incredibly talented. She had a gospel voice and sang at a lot of big churches and traveled around. We lived in Iowa, so she traveled around the tri-state, we called it, and she did musical theater. Remember, as an adult, even we lived in Colorado, and I'd fly home and watch her musicals, and so she had a lot of talent, and she, loved that Scott, sang. Unfortunately, my mother passed away before the sing-off, but I know she's watching him, but I didn't. But I think some genetics went through me to him.
He does.
No, not really. No, I mean, my family's a big Catholic family from Western Ohio, and when we've always been in church choirs and school choirs, my uncles and aunts and my parents, all of that. So there's something, through the lineage that maybe we can carry a tune and we have a decent ear. I don't have any talent for music that I've been trained for. I've never been trained or anything, but I taught myself to play the guitar, and I still play the guitar at church and sing every Sunday. So that's about the most of it. And I used to sing her and my son Scott to sleep every night for years and years. So I'm hoping that that's how they kind of got some of the music thing.
I sing, but not like he does. I mean, there's no way on earth. The only thing we have together, Mitch and I, is we're both tenors, and that's where it ends, because I can't sing like that. But I had an uncle that had a high tenor voice, that had an incredible voice, that used to sing in church choirs and stuff, and I think that's probably where it came from, other than just a thunderbolt from God. But my wife plays the saxophone, or she used to. Mitch used to play the cello, and that was something we had to get him to practice. That he liked it, but he didn't want to put in the hours for the practicing it. But he was really good at it, and I was kind of sorry to see him drop that, because I loved the cello, and so God replaced that with Kevin. So but I have nothing other than that.
I sound really great in the shower and in the car.
right, next question is from Jen Youngberg.
Way in the back.
First off, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your children with us. I feel like a proud mom most of the time because I've been following them. And so I can't imagine how you guys must feel. They're just amazing, amazing kids. You're welcome. My question is, does their temperament as babies match their temperament now? Like, we've kind of alluded to it a little bit, but.
Well, I would say yes, but because Scott was pretty chill baby too. It was a lot easier than those two. But what do you think?
No, Scott's temperament's pretty much been pretty even his whole life. He's easygoing and loving kid, and in soccer he'd stand around and throw rocks while the other kids were when the other was chasing the ball and stuff. He's really easygoing. He's always loved Beyonce, so I don't know if that has
He was pretty good in sports.
Yeah, Mitch is the same. He's quiet, kind of a reserved person, and the toughest thing we have to get out of Mitch is what's going on out there. What's coming up? Are you going to perform here, perform there? We never know anything, and we usually find out from these two, or Facebook or Twitter. Oh, you're going to be on so and so. I see, Mitch. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. So that he's always been very closed-mouthed and just kind of keep things to himself like that. Very quiet person, and his sister is the complete opposite. And if it were her doing this, we'd have an hourly report. So he's the same. He's just always been like that.
Yeah, I think Kirsty's like Mitch. We never know what's going on. Connie always does, and it's funny because you would think because I have the girl that she would be the one that would inform me, but she's not. Like, I know nothing. So, but yeah, she's just really laid back and just a sweet girl.
So, actually, funny thing, Kirstin is on Twitter tweeting about, wondering what's going on. So she said, tell Angelica to please stop dragging me. So we got one final question from at GGMommy0812, Brittany.
I think you've kind of answered this a little bit, but I'm just wondering if when they were really little, everyone kind of has that thing, I wanted to be a cowboy or whatever. So did any of them have that little thing that they wanted to be before they said, yeah, I definitely want to be a singer?
No, Scott was a singer. I mean, and I remember the day because he went to a concert with his dad. I usually went with him, but I didn't go this time. And Scott came home. It was Trout Fishing in America, and that was one of our favorite. We had all their albums and went to all their concerts. But he came home that night, and he was just ecstatic. He said, I know what I'm doing when I grow up. And I said, what? And he goes, I'm going to sing because for people, it's really fun. And I'm like, cool. Well, you hang on to that, buddy. So it was never baseball or anything. And when he knew how hard it was to break into the industry. So when he got into high school and all that, I remember him, he didn't know really if he should do that. He knew how hard it was. And that's why he did have a backup plan at USC. It was music performance first, but it was music business second. He did have a backup plan, but it's always been music since age 4.
Trout fishing in America.
Yeah, trout, yeah.
They're great.
Great. Oh my gosh. Ask those two. They know all their songs too.
I sing them way too often. Need a band-aid.
Very simple. Very simple. Always wanted to be a singer.
I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Did Kirsty ever want to be anything else?
Oh, no.
So that is it for the questions. So please, everybody, give them a huge round of applause. So one final little, yes. Thank you to that.
Thank you all.
One final thing is yesterday just so happened to be Connie Hoying's birthday. Let's all sing happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I asked Mike, am I red? I feel red.
Also, as a huge thank you for you guys coming and speaking with us, we really appreciate it. We have some gifts for all the parents and everything. So.
I hope mine is a air conditioner compressor.
These were sponsored by some of the things.
Yeah, this was a sponsorship that we did, so there's a lot of people here that helped a lot of the sponsorships that we had. So we had some particularly to make sure that, we wanted to show you guys how much we appreciate you coming here and doing this for us.
All right. I'll wear it with pride.
Thank you again, everyone. Thank you. And with that, we break for dinner. And we'll resume at 8 o'clock back here for the party. We'll have a good time. It's going to be awesome. Don't miss it. We'll see you all then.